Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me.
Good day, Nathan!
I knew it was going to be one of these close. Good day. I knew it was going to be one of those. I could tell.
You could tell?
I know. I could totally tell. The trick you have up your sleeve there.
So, I like your hat, by the way.
I think I got all these different colors. I'm trying to see which one I like best.
Well, the thing is that like with the pink shirt and like you got kind of like a pink tint here, and then it kind of goes to dark. Oh, there you go. See, it like moves, and so it like they're temporarily, depending on the angle, kind of like perfectly ties from the top of your shirt to your hat.
I love it.
I like your hat.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I like your hat.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
How are you doing, buddy?
Awesome, dude. I love what we're doing. So we kind of copied up what we heard of Jim Larson and Sarah Reinecke and Jared doing with the dog pound, right? They have like the top 10, 20% of their team getting together for like kind of like a super huddle. And we copied it. We totally copied it. We just started it this week. I think I'm really excited about that, John.
Yeah.
Helping the ones that are already killing it level up even more. And hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, it's crazy too, Mer, is that I really haven't even talked to you about this, but we're doing the Justin Finney cohort as well. And he's diving into a lot of the stuff that we're doing right now. I actually took a couple of screenshots the other day and I sent them to you. Without a response, but that's okay.
Listen, I had COVID and I was dead, so you're lucky I'm here right now.
Miranda did have COVID, so in the chat, if you wouldn't mind, just we're so grateful that you got through COVID. And Miranda and I we've been working leads.
Yes.
And running appointments, and we started it, and then she got COVID.
And I couldn't talk, so that was interesting. But I still booked a couple appointments. But enough about that. So here's the thing, okay?
Okay.
Talking about this dog pound idea really brought me back, John, to when you and I were running in the field. And I know that year I did over $425,000 on my own pen in my rookie year, driving in my car. I know you were over 600.
So we did over. You always say I almost beat you, or you almost.
I know. I just like saying that to make you mad. But between both of us, we did $1 million of business. Okay, our rookie year. And talking to these people in the dog pound is really reminding me of a conversation that I think we need to do today, because success at that level is not an accident, right? And in recruiting, we say, you can come in here and make $200,000, $300,000, $100,000 a year and you can, John. I think you said you made $360,000 your first year, right? Sure. Like you can, but it's not a freaking accident. So this podcast is for the people that want to just kind of be here and kind of do insurance. We want to speak to those of you that are sick and tired of having like mediocre results and that want to start blowing the doors off of this freaking thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like me writing 425 that year, that wasn't an accident. I was a single mom. My kids were 3 and 5. I was like, holy crap. I was used to making multiple 6 figures with my ex. He was gone, going through a divorce. And I was like, I have to freaking do this. I don't know where else I can make that kind of money that's legal, with no experience, right? Yeah. So I want to talk about what that takes, John, how to level up, how to do that, because there are so many people doing it, but they're not doing it with this mediocre scarcity, whatever type kind of mindset, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Like there are people today that like, well, I don't know. I think it was easier because you guys, you guys wouldn't knee to knee and face to face. And so you'd set an appointment, like it's different. They can't, they're at home. Well, no, they didn't answer the door. We got, what did we call it? Zorched. or porch.
Porch.
Porch,
Yeah.
yeah. Zorch
Yep.
now, but we got porched. I think it was actually harder back then because you couldn't dial as much, right? Like you literally I had 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours of drive time.
Each way sometimes. Some people would go to next door states because your leads were only what you could drive to, assuming you could even get them. Right? And you're right, John. You'd underwrite, you get ready for half an hour, hop in your car and spend 2 freaking hours to get porched.
Right.
You know? And so anyways, plus, before we used to do all of our interviews one-on-one. I know a lot of people do group interviews and might be able to get away with a couple hours a week of interviews. I remember in the middle of the day, I'd have 5 or 6 appointments that I drive to in my car. And in the middle of that, have 10 to 15 interviews every 15 minutes that I'd be talking to in the middle of appointments, juggling that just to get my 25 interviews a week that I needed. Like, dude, but none of this is a freaking accident, you guys. It's not.
No. And I want to kind of finish that thought too, right? Is that some people could have said back in the day it was easier for us when it wasn't. It was actually a lot harder. Today, I truly do believe deep down in my heart that not necessarily that it's easier, but you can just get a lot more done. And here's the way, like, I think that Miranda and myself, I think that we walked into this business is that our back was so hard pressed against the wall, right? We didn't have any other choice than other to be successful. And so what does that mindset look like? I think that as you're when you get into this business and you're kind of looking at this opportunity and you're looking like so far and you're looking at such a bigger picture and you're looking at we're looking at this massive reward. And here's the other thing that I would say is that that's what we were focused on, but our reality was more scarier. Our reality was frightening. Miranda, your reality, what you just said, was frightening, meaning a single mom of 2, going through a divorce, have all this stuff to worry about. You're on your own for the first time in however many years.
Ever.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That is scary. Entering into a new business, a new opportunity, giving your brain the ability to focus on something better than what your reality was. I think that there's something to be said about that. Is that's what my reality was so scary too. So it was like I used work as an scapegoat. So try using work as your scapegoat. Try enjoying it. Try having fun. Try learning the process. Try immersing yourself so deeply into this that you have no other chance but to succeed.
And what happens is I knew that if I got in front of enough people, I was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. There was going to be bad weeks, there's going to be good weeks, there's going to be whatever, but I knew my life was going to be completely different if I just got in front of 10 people a week. So my life stopped. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. My entire personal life, even going to some of my kids' stuff, John, I had to earn that time. So every day when I got up and I got on the phone, it was 8 appointments. I'm booking 8 appointments today. I'm booking 8 appointments tomorrow. If I can't do that, then I got to work on Sunday. If that doesn't happen, now I'm juggling my appointments during running the other ones. And it was just having this, I have to, and I am at all freaking cost mindset. And I was told by Ryan Miller, Rob Puckett, Marshall, they said, you know what, put your head down for 2 years, work harder for yourself than you've ever worked for a boss, right? Yeah. And then hit that gas pedal as hard as you freaking can, prove the system wrong. And when you look up in 2 years, you're going to be in a completely different spot. That's so true. For me, 2 years, a year and a half, I was out of the field. I had over $400,000 of business written. I had $100,000 in my savings account. I remember you saw that. We were out in Miami and you're like, what the hell? What's going on there? How'd you get that? I remember that was awesome. Mm-hmm. But anyways, and in 3 years, I was at the top of the company. But that didn't happen without what you're talking about here, John. And that's this attacking this business to change your life mindset.
Yeah. That's so
That's
good.
it.
That's so good. And like, look at this, Mer. So many people come in here and work 40, 50, 60 hours a week prior to this business, right? And that's what we were doing. That's what you were doing, 70, 80 hours. So if I'm coming in here, I'm looking at this like saying, all right, I want to invest in myself. I'm no longer working for someone else. I'm going to do this for me and my family. What kind of hours are you going to commit to this business? What kind of hours are you going to commit to your family? What kind of, you see what I'm saying with that? What kind of hours are you going to commit to the wealth of your family, to being the best version that you can be? And so you come in here and you're going to work 60, 70 hours a week. Would you agree that 30 to 35 hours of dialing is necessary in the very beginning of this business until you get good at it?
So, and people go, oh, 30 hours. How many hours did you work at the last place you had a job,
Right.
where you clocked in and then you clocked out, like you were legit on the clock, right?
Right.
And so, John, for you, and again, you had unusual results, but let's just take like somebody that averagely gets in front of 10 people a week. They're probably going to have about $5,000 of deposits next week when they do that. They just are.
Yeah.
So if you knew that dialing the phone for 30 or 40 hours straight, you didn't take a break except for lunch, like you clocked in, clocked out, you knew you had $5,000 waiting for you next week that's going to get deposited in your bank account, how hard would you work to make that happen?
Right.
Right?
And keep this in mind too, Mer. $5,000 divided by 30 hours is $166 an hour.
Yeah.
If you were paid $166 to be intentional per hour on the phones, the question is, how many hours on the phone would you dial per week if you had a salary at $166 an hour?
And I'm just going off of average, like what the average person could do if they got in front of 10. Like John gets in front of 10. Hold on. Me, now that I don't suck at sales, would be more than that too. But I did suck at it, right? I did in the beginning, right? But I still attack the phones, that check mark. And then we level up here, John, with before you attack those phones, leveling up on actually doing the system the way that you're supposed to. Because that's the other variable, is how much are you actually sticking to this stuff. And I came to the table, I did phones before, I trained call centers, whatever. I sucked my first week. I had no one show up. And I go to conference and I see all these people talking about the sales system and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I know more about the phones, but they know more about this. So what I've got to do is I've got to open my brain up. I've got to zip it open, take everything that I know out, sit it here for 90 days, learn the system exactly as they're teaching me it, attack it like I'm changing my life with what they're telling me, even though it might not make sense, right? Some of the training, it didn't even exist. So we were handed like an outline. I'm like, I just got to stick to this, But attack it to prove it wrong for 90 freaking days.
Yeah.
With this, and see where you're at in 90 days. And John, that decision that I made at my first conference when I almost didn't show up, I said, I'm going to give this thing 6 months. I'm going to sell out. I'm going to actually try my very best, lock myself in a darn room, master these scripts, and attack it and see where I'm at. And in that 6 months, I won a trip to Mexico. I probably put up close to $200,000 of business. I was on stage with you, top rookie, whatever, because I made this choice. So I don't know. I know we both had this on our heart, because there's a lot of people that are selling themselves. They're playing small. They're selling themselves short. And you're not listening to our banter and nonsense every week to not level up. So if you feel like we're speaking to you, we are.
And this isn't about just sucking at sales. This is about I think it's about sucking at life, right? And sucking at business and sucking at relationships. Is like, don't quit waiting. Quit waiting until your back is against the wall. Quit waiting until you're down to your last dollar. don't wait until you go into that fight or flight mode. Make the decision for you, make the decision for your family, make the decision to set the example for your children, to set the example for your friends, to set the example for your spouse, to set the example for your future. Go get it.
And what
go.
happens, John, in so many companies and so many like places that people have been in, like maybe their whole adult life, they've never had an opportunity to, when they actually do this, it can change their life.
Yeah.
And they can become financially free. They work hard and they might get what, like a 2% raise or a $100 bonus one. Like this is legit stuff. This is not a get rich quick. This is a get rich for sure over time, and get financially free in the next 5 years if you follow the system the way that it's designed. So I don't want to see, oh yeah, that was a good podcast. I want to see people change their lives because of this podcast. So time to level up, and we'll see you next week, y'all.
Bye, y'all. If you don't want to suck at sales, push buttons. Follow, subscribe.